Boy Official, what is up? I did not forget about y'all. Sorry that I posted late, and I know I didn't complete the final episode. I wasn't trying to bait with that. I was just kind of like, either I post it on the day that's the last day, or and you know, it wasn't complete. I wasn't done with the final workout at the time that I posted it. But I did finish the final workout. I ended 75 hard with a nice dance session, and had some outdoor little excitement in the driveway between my breaks and stuff. Right now, I guess I'm ordering Jersey Mike's. I'm trying to kind of just get my food, and then, like, while I'm warming up the car, I gotta drop by one of the pharmacy convenience stores, you know, run a quick errand and grab a couple items, energy drinks and such. I'll probably work out like right after. I'm probably going to work out right after I get back home. It's almost 11. It's 10:55 a.m. Luckily, the instructor let us out early because she knows we have exams, and she was actually doing us a solid by, you know, people had requests that they wanted, that they felt they wanted and needed to be able to get yeah, they kind of wanted and needed to have like extra time. And so some people were requesting that. I'm not used to being in school environments where people like care about what you feel or think too much. It's usually like, okay, like, this is what you do for school, and so you just do it, and you don't really think too much more past that. You just do what you're told, and if it's hard, you stay up and you get it done, or you miss out on your weekends or whatever, and you don't get to balance out your life as much. But I'm glad that we have classmates that are asking, because now we don't have a lot of stuff due. Because we were going to have something due today, and then I don't know what else, but yeah, I know we were at least going to have the one thing due. So I'm going to place this order, then go pick it up after I hit the other shop. Yes, pick up. Hopefully it's not far. I hate it when I sometimes choose to pick up somewhere and it's not the right place. I think this one's right. It's in the same zip code. So I plan to get my food. It's going to be a little early, and then I'll okay, I got like 10 minutes to get there, so that sounds fine. Car is kind of warmed up too. I really do not know why this car squeaks this bad. But when it's reversing, but it's had this problem for a while now. But yeah, so I've got this exam tomorrow, and that's kind of why I was like, let me just post this, because I was online taking a break, and I was like, if I don't post this, that day 75 of 75 hard, at the time that I did post it, I was feeling like if I don't post it, I'm gonna just end up posting it all the next day, and I didn't want to do that. So yeah, but I'm just trying to kind of figure out maybe what I want to do with my schedule and studying and stuff. I've been trying really hard just to keep it so that I'm balancing everything out. That's been kind of the main goal. And I've felt kind of slow with class because I'm kind of going with my brain energy and my, I'm trying not to stay up too late. Like, I haven't slept that great. Last night I slept spectacularly, but I had like 20 milligrams of edibles. So, I knocked out, and then I woke up around 12, like around midnight, and I was like refreshed. So I don't know what time I went to bed last night, but it must have been early. I woke up feeling refreshed, and then I didn't really want to I don't know. There was some stuff I kind of wasn't trying to do. I didn't really want to do, like, I didn't want melatonin because it makes me groggy, and it costs a lot for something that isn't as effective as I'd like it to be. Like, I feel like it usually works the first time that I haven't taken it in a while, but I don't know. I kind of like how edibles kind of help me unwind. And I was kind of feeling like, okay, like I need to take it slower on the edibles. I was kind of thinking that way. And after I was just talking to a friend and then talking to some classmates and stuff, I'm like, no, I don't really think that's actually how I feel. Like, there is kind of still a stigma in society to cannabis use and using cannabis products, and I think that stigma is definitely still in my mind. Like, I'm aware of it, and sometimes I'm like, second guessing myself, but I'm like, as long as I'm not taking it too early, like during class, or like when I need to drive, or it's getting in the way of, I was supposed to study, but I had an edible, and now I can't. As long as it's not getting in my way, I think it's not really an issue. But alright, let me get into this store. Alright, let's open up this C4. Got the one I wanted, the watermelon flavor, Jolly Rancher. I don't even know if my order's ready. It should be ready in 1 minute, but I gotta drive a couple blocks. See, just what I thought. I knew it was gonna be running late. It said it was going to be ready at 11:07 a.m. It says 11:12 right now. 11:12 a.m. So I'm going to take my time. I was going to take my time anyways. But, ooh. People aren't paying attention. They almost backed into me. I'm just going to go forward. Screw this. At least I was paying attention. I was like, why is this car getting closer and closer and closer to me? Like, when I'm trying to back out. But yeah, I wanted to go before the lunch break. With things. Before it got busier. So I can just pop in and out of stores. Our class today was 1 hour long, but I was gonna get up at like 5 a.m. and study, and that just did not happen. But I was like, I might regret it. I did not know. She actually made it so class today could be 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. because somebody had requested, I guess, to start and end early. And then, people are really advocating for themselves. It's kind of weird, though, because I'm like, I don't think I've ever in my life, as far as I remember, I don't think I've ever requested an extension. I've always just dealt with the fact that either the work is going to be poor quality, or my schedule's going to suffer, and my energy's going to suffer because I'm going to spread myself too thin trying to get this thing done on time, or overwhelm myself or burn myself out, which is what I've done with work all the time and school and stuff in the past. And so maybe I should kind of learn from some of these other people advocating for themselves, kind of learn from their kind of how they've kind of been addressing stuff, because I don't think I've had experiences like that really, not that I can think of, where I've been like trying to get more help. I've only tried that more recently in life, trying to connect with accommodations and programs and things that can help me with what I'm trying to do to kind of reach my goals more smoothly, because I know I've got my own issues going on. But I never really thought to try to, like, you know, do the whole thing. Like, it's almost like, you know, how people say they're trying, like, people try to shove a square peg into a round hole or something like that. That's kind of how I feel sometimes with, like, you know, different things. It's like, and I'm in a class with people that, you know, this one dude's got like pretty bad ADHD. He talks about it all the time. You know, he's always like, sorry, my ADHD, sorry, this and that. And then, like, you know, we are kind of in a day and age too where people, you know, have their issues going on and they like to kind of express that they're gonna have certain problems. And they kind of, you know, a lot of people are talking a lot about ADHD and like being on the spectrum and stuff like that. And I really try not to comment too much on that kind of stuff because I really don't know enough about it. And but I am still curious about like online apps and stuff, like, and the pandemic, like the mixture of those things. I'm wondering how much of an impact those things have had on people and kind of like their mental health, and how they're either self-diagnosing or like recognizing issues arising for themselves. And yeah, it is very interesting to kind of notice that, you know, for some people to kind of notice that they have problems, and then being like trying to address those issues. But my main purpose for leaving the house early was to get a little bit of caffeine, but before noon, because I know noon is my cutoff. But I don't want to sleep. I don't want to be up late tonight and not be able to sleep on time. So I'm like, let me start this process about an hour early. So I can get my workout in, at least get like one good workout in today. I plan to do two still. I just might have to break it up. Like, my anxiety is pretty high about this exam, and I'm noticing it's really hard for me to focus. Like, I'm really having trouble just sitting down and focusing, and I didn't really, it was just a rough morning. Like, I had people in the house up late at night, and then the construction still going on in the distance, and they were street racing late at night, and then there's, you know, people who woke up early were still up freaking early this morning, and I was feeling kind of annoyed by that, because, you know, I like to be left alone, as we all know, and, you know, it's not always possible for me to be fully left alone. As we all know. And so, because of that, I was a little bit more stressed out this morning, because I didn't have my normal routine with getting up, or I was going to get up early, and then, you know, somebody else was up by like 6:30 something, bouncing around for trash day. And then, yeah, in addition to the trash day situation, you know, they were just up and decided to start making breakfast and cooking, and then they were making lunch. When I left, they're like, oh, I put this thing in the oven, and I'm just kind of like, I'm on my own plan. Just kind of like I mentioned before, I really just don't want to combine my plans with other people, you know, just because someone else is making something. I already had plans to go to Jersey Mike's. I already had plans to like run my errands and do what I was going to do today, so I'm just going to stick to my own plan. I don't really feel obligated to even, like, I don't even have the energy to really care, to tell you the truth. Like, if anybody else needs me to be whatever they might be needing me to be right now, that is not going to happen. I don't really care. I'm trying to be polite and respectful, and otherwise I'm just doing my own thing. I don't really want to be too interactive. I already asked not to be spoken to this morning. I was like, just please don't talk to me. And what do you think happened? Do you want to guess? Do you want to guess? If you guessed it, the person I directly asked not to talk to me started talking to me immediately after I said that, you would guess right. But just things like that, I'm already irritated when it comes to stuff like that. That's how I'm starting out my morning, which is why I don't like to be awake when I don't like other people being awake early in the morning, but I can't tell somebody don't be out in the house early in the morning. So I'm kind of hoping that they're not trying to make it so that their schedule is planned so that they're waking up at the same time as me every morning. I'm just, because that was the only piece that I was ever getting, is just that I wake up early. So let me go get these sandwiches. Alright, got the food. I think with this energy drink, I'm going to keep it in the car. I'll just drink a little more and then be done with it. Because I want energy, but I don't want to overdo it. Sorry, I don't know if there's a light. I'm trying to remember if there's a light to get out of this plaza. I think I'm just going to have to go out onto the main street and make a U-turn. Don't think there's a light. Is there? I don't know if there is. But yeah, it's good to get out of the house at least a little bit too. I didn't eat a big breakfast. I ate a few bites of yogurt and I didn't finish my cereal, so I really didn't have a lot. And cereal's not that heavy anyways. Cereal's really actually like a fairly light food. It was like these chocolate Cheerios. It wasn't even anything too spectacular. But yeah, just because the kitchen was taken, and I don't know what I would have had. I've been having kind of like lazy breakfast for a few days now, and it's kind of fine with me. But I don't know. I may have come the wrong direction. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get all the way across 4 lanes. Let's see. I might. If this car would hurry up. Go, buddy. Okay, well, if you're not gonna go, I'm gonna go. And because they were driving so slow, I just drove across 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to the 5th lane of traffic. I don't know. Got a lot to study. Don't want to neglect the working out. I'm probably gonna do like 3 little 30 minutes instead of 2 45s. There's another one. These Sawdams cafes. I gotta look up what that means, because that's kind of weird. There's this other Sawdam place that I am joking calling it Sodom. But this one looks like a boba shop. What does it say? I can't read. I think it's sawdamcafe.com. SODAMCAFE.com. These glasses are terrible. It's like they're good enough, but they're actually terrible for like distances. I don't know. I'm just gonna go home and study basically. Getting a little workout, have some of the sandwich, maybe half of it. I don't know how much, maybe half. So yeah, after having some of the sandwich, I'm probably gonna, well, I'll probably work out before and then have the sandwich after. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to wait longer to work out until the food kind of settles. And I don't know if it'll make me crash at all. I really don't know how to feel about how I'm feeling. Like, I don't know. I knew I was going to be exhausted today, but being in class today helped, even though it was just an hour. In the chat, people started kind of tuning in a little bit. But this is the second week that people have been really quiet. People have been really kind of withdrawn and like kind of inside themselves and not really participating or like cheerful. I think we're all worried about this exam. Nobody wants to do bad. It is pretty hard stuff. And it's a little tricky, and it's a lot of information, and it's kind of hard to tell, with what the right answers are sometimes. Like, and it is also, yeah, it's hard to tell what the right answers are sometimes, and it's kind of just like not the easiest type of material to cram. Like, it's really hard to cram this type of stuff. It's not a smooth type of material to try to cram. But I don't know. I'm feeling kind of like it's like a little weird. My stress levels last night were so bad. I was so tense yesterday, like physically. Like, I think a lot of my stress is being kind of like, is affecting my sleep, like ability to fall asleep. And then it's affecting my ability to, focus well. And it's affecting, like when I sit down to do something, it's not really linear. It's like, okay, I'm going to sit and learn these next like 5 things on this list because I've got like a study guide list, and then I'll find myself just like multitasking into other stuff or whatever. Even if it's related to studying, it's like learning one topic kind of makes me realize, oh, I don't know this part, and then I'll go veer off and start watching videos or trying to learn other stuff. And it's stressful just somebody being up all the time at home and just trying to interact with me is just too much for me. Like, I kind of wish I never would have said that I have this test coming up. And I mentioned it because usually we do Wednesday lunch and I didn't, or Wednesday dinner, and I was like, well, let's postpone it to Thursday, but I mentioned that I had a test. And I think I'm not going to mention that kind of stuff anymore because I just don't like people trying to like wake up and pitch in and try to like do a bunch of stuff where it's like, I don't want you awake and like trying to talk to me and like interact with me. Like, I've kind of got my own schedule in my head that I'm trying to do. And clearly when I try to tell people that, they don't listen. Like, they think they just aren't very in tune with what I'm saying. And I'm very direct. Like, I'm not like beating around the bush. I'm not like, oh, like, I didn't say that clearly. It's like, well, if I say don't talk to me, please, how hard is that to understand? Or if I say I'm just doing my own thing for meals, how hard is that to understand? Or if I'm saying like, I don't really need you to kind of like tell me what's in the fridge, or like whenever I come out of my room to kind of like get a snack or get something in the fridge, and then somebody's like coming out of their room and coming all the way into the kitchen and like talking to me and showing me all the stuff that's there. I'm like, yes, I'm grateful that there's food. Thank you that there's food. I'm glad. But it's like, I can see I have eyes. Someone was asking me today, like, oh, did you see the holiday card that this other person sent? And I'm like, I'm the one who opened it. It had like a CD in it and all kinds of stuff. I opened it yesterday and put it with the other mail after I looked at everything in there and read the card and everything. And it's like, how are you asking me if I saw the card? Like, there's only 2 of us in this house right now. and you didn't open the card. I opened the card. So what, you think I just opened it and then, I mean, I opened it and then I left the part of it like sticking out to show that I had opened it. It's like, I don't know, just stuff like that. I'm kind of like, you don't need to like talk to me about this kind of stuff, or like ask me like obvious things, or like tell me obvious stuff. It's like, oh, there's strawberries. I know, I'm literally with the fridge open seeing that there's strawberries right there in front of my face. Like, I don't know, for me, I just feel like it's too much extra wasted energy having to like interact with people who are just telling me a bunch of stuff that I already know, like, and stuff that's not really on board with what I want to do, like getting the KFC and all that kind of thing. It's like, I've already got my own plans. I'm already doing my own things. I've already got my own meals planned. I've already got my own days scheduled. I don't need somebody else trying to get me to like do what it is that they have planned now. It's like, no, just leave me alone. But I'm never being heard. I can tell that I'm never being heard. And that's kind of what annoys me more than most things, is like, I'm saying literally, you know, I'm not even like, you know, hinting at, like, I'm literally saying it and trying to be as nice as I can when I'm saying it, and then I'm losing my patience, because it's like, you know, what else do you do when somebody's just not hearing what you're saying? And it's been years now. Like, this has not changed or gotten any better. So the more stressed out I am trying to like manage my own things, it just gets harder, because I've got somebody else who's nervous energy, or they've got like a nervous energy where it's like they try to help, and I bet you, like I said, whenever I pull in the driveway, they come and open the door. I could almost bet $1 million that while I'm sitting out here, I'm trying to put this partially consumed C4 into a water bottle, they're gonna come open the door because they hear me. That's how it goes. It's life. And then, even though I brought in the mail, they're gonna open the door and kind of pretend like they're checking the mailbox, because that's what they do when they know that I'm in the driveway. And I always say, because even though they lock me out every 5 seconds, I bring my key with me all the time. And then they're always like, I didn't know you were gone, or I didn't know you were outside. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, leave me alone, dude. Like, at a certain point, I'm like, this is harassment. You know, it's like, goodness. That's kind of how I feel. Like, I feel like I'm like somebody's like purposely trying to burden me just so they can see when I'm gonna snap. That's literally what it feels like. And then they get disappointed, or like they're not gonna be happy if I'm not being like super kind or polite. But it's like, well, if I've told you something like 20 times in a week, multiple times a month, multiple times a year, it's like, you know, some people, you just can't really set boundaries with them, and it's just, you know, I don't do that well. I don't do the whole like, hey, I'm gonna let somebody interfere with me until I bend to their needs, you know. It's like, no, I've got my own situation going on of stuff that I need, and if you can't get on board with it, I'm not gonna just pretend to be nice and pretend like I'm not being bothered. At a certain point, when I'm being bothered, I will let somebody know. I'll be like, you're getting on my nerves, and, you know. But basically, like I've said, I gotta just move. I gotta get this stuff done so I can get the job I need, so I can just move, because that's the only way. And then hope to God, wherever I move, I don't have like management or neighbors that are going to be out of control. I don't want to go too heavy on the caffeine. But okay. I haven't really listened to this morning's Parsha yet because I'm throwing off my schedule. I'm probably going to put that on while I walk in the house. And I do that so that I just have something playing in the background in my headphones because I don't want to interact with anybody. So I'm just going to walk in the house with my headphones on with that in the background. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be chit-chatting at me as I walk in the door. And I'm just going to ignore everything. I'm ignoring everything and everyone except for myself until tomorrow, pretty much, until after I finish this test. I'm about to get in a little workout. I'll probably keep listening to the Parsha. Maybe do some, I don't know, maybe the nunchucks. I kind of didn't do it last night. I do think that left hip, left leg thing, I think it was a muscle pull. I noticed it yesterday. It kind of isolated more, and I realized I was like, okay, this is a muscle pull, and I'm pretty sure it was from the capoeira. But I might do a little nunchucks, a little capoeira, and then study. I will eat and study, and then I hope, I don't know, I'm hoping that this meal helps me get a little on track, because I feel a little off track, because I've been up weird hours by now. But yeah, all right. Well, I'm gonna get to it. And I'll see which days of 75 hard I'm repeating. But I don't know. And it's gonna take me a second. All right.